allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you will join me in a moment of silent prayer, and we're going to remember the Gary Stubblefield family. They will have, he will lie in state Thursday, and then we'll be in Charleston Friday. A gentleman that has contributed a lot to this community, to this area, and to this state. And going to be extremely missed. So if you'll join me for a few minutes of silent prayer, please. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we just thank you for being there for us in the good and the bad. Lord, I just come to you at this time and ask that you just wrap your arms around the Stubblefield family. Be with Kathy, Josh, and Amber, and the extended family, Lord. And for this state, he was a man that stood firm on what he believed and had no problem letting people know that. Lord, we just thank you for his service. We thank you for the legend that he was, what he has left behind. Lord, as we go into our meeting tonight, I just ask for your guidance, for your will to be done. And Lord, I just be with this community. Lord, just in times like this, that we just need to step back and sometimes think and breathe before we say things. So just give each and every one of us guidance, strength, and the will to do what is best for this community. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
All right, roll call, please.
Meyer.
Here.
Minor. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
Maker.
Yes.
Hyler.
Yes.
You've had your minutes since Wednesday. Actually, you've had your entire packet since Wednesday and Thursday. So do we have any discussions on the minutes that were before you? If not, I need a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
Melton.
Yes.
Maker.
Yes.
Hyler.
Yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Minor. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Next is the financial report. Any questions or concerns?
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Meyer.
Yeah.
Hyler.
Yes.
Minor. Yes. Maker.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Melton.
Yes.
You have your department head reports in there. I do want to say that Roy asked to miss tonight. He's got a son playing on the B football team, and that is where he is. And I know that we'll be discussing some street and water reports in just a few minutes. Look over on Brooks' report, and this is the week that we are shut down, the 7th through the 13th. And they are doing deep cleaning, so be mindful of that if citizens ask you. And no one is in there except the employees that are cleaning, and they've got their job cut out for them. So it's going to be a long week for them, but they're doing a really good job. And I wanted to cover back on the police. If you'll remember, we discussed last month about the addresses being on business and residential. Devin, how is that going? Have you talked to him about that? Okay. I've noticed I've drove around, and we've got several that need some attention. And that is just simply for the fact for emergency personnel. We don't need someone new coming in here driving the EMS and not knowing. We take that for granted, but they most times put that in their GPS, and somebody's life is, we need it. We need it flagged. So do you all have any questions on departmental reports? Okay, we'll then next do committee and commissions. We're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna let Kelly come up front, come up and do the commission report for planning. And that paperwork is in the very back of your packet, next to the last pages.
So all we have is Jose Flores and his wife. They are gonna do an Airbnb. So they asked to make that from commercial to residential. So we did go ahead and agree to do that. We made it R1. I did print off like from Act Data so you can kind of see where it's at, but here is the. And then if you want to come up here and maybe I think you're gonna do with it. They just plan on basically making it an Airbnb. So, do you wanna say anything? No. So, we agreed to do that. Everything I read and stuff said that most Airbnbs are zoned residential, so,
And if y'all aren't familiar with that, that's the old A1 insurance.
yeah, it was
Chuck Atkinson's,
Chuck
yes.
Atkinson's, yeah, so his.
It's right next to David Powell's
And I don't
office.
think that he ever really made it more business. I think that basically it's still a house, like it's still livable as a
He
resident.
just had to have an address.
Yeah, so that's all we had on our agenda.
And I do want to thank you again. If you all will not remember, we switched from the first Thursday night to the first Tuesday night. Kelly wanted to stay involved, but her child has ball games on Thursday night, so I talked to Kevin, switching a night, and we notified everyone. It's on the Facebook page, notified the media, and I just want to thank you for continuing to serve.
Yes, thank you guys for switching out for me. I appreciate that. I told Roxy I didn't want to stop doing it, but his games were every Thursday, and I don't want to do that.
No.
So,
We don't want you to either,
thank you.
so.
Anything else from me?
I got a question, Kevin.
Okay, we can do that when we come to, first we'll read it. We'll do the motion to read, and then before you approve it, you can ask questions. So first, I need a motion to read ordinance 2025-12.
Make a motion to read.
Need a second?
I'll second. Tyler,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Yes.
Harris, Minor. Yes. Meyer.
Yes.
An ordinance amending the zoning regulations and zoning maps of the city of Ozark and for other purposes, whereas the Ozark Planning Commission conducted a public hearing on September 1st, 2025, at which the proposed amendment was discussed with members of the public, and whereas the public hearing was advertised in the paper of general circulation in the city of Ozark at least 15 days prior to the meeting, and whereas City Council has heard the report, the Ozark Planning Commission had a motion to approve with a second, so the motion passed. The Ozark Planning Commission did recommend an amendment of the of the Ozark zoning regulations and maps. Said property is zoned as C2. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Ozark, Arkansas, Section 1, that the zoning regulations and map of the City of Ozark shall be amended to reflect that the zoning of the following property located in the Ozark District of Franklin County is modified from C2 to R1. Tract 1 description, Lot 7 in the east 15 feet of Lot 6, all in Block 17 of the City of Ozark, Franklin County, Arkansas, more particularly described as follows, beginning at the southeast corner of Lot 7 and running thence north on the line between Lot 7 and 8, 100 feet, thence west 75 feet, then south parallel with the west line of said Lot 7, 100 feet, thence east to the point of beginning. Tract 2, beginning at the northeast corner of the Block 11 of Bowles Addition to the town of Ozark, Arkansas, and running thence west along the north line of said block a distance of 60 feet, then south 127 feet to a point 24 feet, south of the north line of Lot 3 of said Block 11 of Bowles Addition to the town of Ozark, Arkansas, thence east 60 feet, thence north along the east side of the block thence 127 feet to the place of beginning. Section 2, all ordinances, parts of ordinances or regulations in conflict herewith are hereby repealed.
508 West Commercial.
There's 2 lots there?
That's what I'm wondering.
It's, because it goes from the edge of that, Nick went out there and measured,
Like the driveway's separate from the rest of it? Oh,
It lists 3 lots in here. 6, 7, and 8.
I didn't think it was big enough for that.
It's lot 7 and east 15 feet of lot 6 and block 17, plus a portion of block 11 in the Bowles addition. The line is between, the line that's described is between block 7 and block 8, that line that runs north and south.
so that's the driveway
For what,
that
sir?
David Powell shares. So it's one of those wonky ones.
It's just 2 parcels.
Yeah.
One of them happens to be in the original town of Ozark as platted, and the other one happens to be in a subsequent addition to the town, Bowles addition, but they're together and contiguous. It's all one piece of property, but there are 2 legal descriptions to it.
Gotcha.
Okay. My other question is,
Okay,
going
just-
to R1,
Going to R1, residential, primary residential.
is it gonna be a primary residence?
It's an Airbnb.
I question that as well, but I'd have to read the definition of R1, it may be included in that.
And I will tell you, Nick did read it because we questioned what it was gonna go to. Because I questioned him, I said, no, R1 is for residential, and he pulled it out, and it shows that it is,
We questioned it too, so I had to go back and look, and I even contacted Nick about it as well, cause that was our.
It says
question.
residential, single-family dwelling, it doesn't say it has to be a primary residence.
Yeah,
yep.
and it said it has to be at least 7,000 square feet, which is.
Home occupations is permitted therein, childcare, family homes, accessories, or incidental structures.
And there are two
And
other
special permit use,
Airbnbs.
bed and breakfast, church and school.
One of the other 2 had primary residence in.
I'm sorry?
Didn't the other 2 have primary residence in them?
The one doesn't, the gray one doesn't,
The gray one.
on the other side of the street on River Street.
And the one down by the old car wash, it doesn't either.
No.
Okay, that wasn't even the 2 I was thinking about, but okay.
But we got more than you realize, don't we? Okay,
One was
we
on
need to
River-
go- we
well,
need to
actually,
stay
they
on
were both on
track
River
here.
Street.
I need to dispense with a motion to dispense with second and third reading and read by title only.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Second and third reading.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor. Yes. Harris.
Yes.
Melton,
No.
Baker,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
An ordinance amending the zoning regulations, zoning maps of the city of Ozark and for other purposes. An ordinance amending the zoning regulations and zoning maps of the city of Ozark and for other purposes.
Now we're open for any more questions or discussion. Mr. Torres, is there anything that you would, if anybody, he's right here, does anyone want to ask him questions?
Do you have a time frame on this?
When it'll be ready?
Or when you start reconstruction, or, and when it'll be ready?
We've already started remodeling, however, we're not sure when it'll be ready.
And when he says he started, he just cleaned up around the outside. He's gotten rid of trees and made it look better on the outside. So thank you for that.
I just have a problem with going from commercial back to residential, especially in that part of town where it's surrounded by all commercial properties. This is, it's gonna be an island of a residence right in the middle and right on the main drag of Ozark. I question how that's gonna really fit in the way, you know, we're trying to make things and come up with more things in downtown, and I realize that's a business, and it's nothing personal, but to me, it's going backwards when you go from a commercial to residential and in that part of town, so I really question that.
My concern is, what if he decides to sell it and then someone lives there permanently? I mean, we know what he wants to do, but if he decides not to do that, then he wants to sell it to somebody, it's residential, so then just a whole family could move in there, and then what if it's an eyesore? That's what keeps going through my mind.
Oh, and I know it's right there, but right across the street is a house that's residential as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, preacher's house across the street.
Yeah, that's parsonage for the church, you know. So,
And there's houses in commercial, I mean, you can live in a commercial.
Well, there's one
Property.
next to Toby Hogan.
Yeah.
Well, there's actually two next to him.
Yeah, that's true. I think that's what the zone.
Isn't there an ordinance where you,
Ordinance goes for, I guess.
or is that just downtown where there's an ordinance where you can have residence in a commercial building?
I think it's just that.
That's just downtown around
Square.
Just one.
If no further discussion, I need a motion to approve, please.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I need a second.
I'll second. Tyler?
No.
Horton?
No.
Baker?
Yes.
Melton?
no,
Harris?
Yes.
Minor? Yes. Meyer?
Yes.
Congratulations, sir, and thank you again. We appreciate you investing in Ozark. All right, next, Kelly, thank you. First, we'll do the cemetery report. You have anything?
We met 2 times, actually, because we didn't get this discussed in the first time, that we didn't have a quorum the first time. So we are wanting to have this ordinance about, we had a problem with the tents. It was known, Schaefer's the one that usually uses ours the most at Highland, and they have been utilizing the pavilion, can't think of that word. And then we had another out-of-town funeral home that put up a tent. And so then there was questions about how come they could use a tent if we're not supposed to use a tent. But the funeral homes around here love the pavilion. They love using it. They don't have to pass any more expense over to a family. And so after talking about it and stuff, we thought it was best if we make an ordinance to say that people can go and have graveside funerals still, but there's not gonna be any tents used, that everybody needs to use the pavilion. And I think once everybody does use it, they will realize how nice it is. And it's not an extra cost on the family. And so that's where this ordinance is coming from.
And two, by using that pavilion, you're not taking a chance on headstones being
Right.
torn up,
Damaged.
grave sites. I know a lot of times when it was raining, the guys would have to get the particle boards or the,
To drive their
yes, to
track
drive,
hose and so on.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
So,
well, they're still gonna have to do that anyway, to get
Yeah.
in there to dig the
Yeah.
hole.
But not to,
Not-
not the family be down there,
Yeah.
and be in the,
I still
mud
think,
and stuff.
I think that you're taking a personal right away from these people. If you wanna have a graveside service, you know, we got a beautiful place up there to have this now. I'm proud of it, everybody's proud of it. But, you know, some people, a graveside service means having it right there.
yeah, and we're not saying that, just no tent set up. Just,
Well-
you can have a graveside service, but not a tent set
And
up.
what if it's bad weather and they wanna have a graveside service, so, you know?
Well, I didn't think about it that way.
I just feel like we're, you know, we put a lot on people in the last year, and then we've all think it's been positive, and I do. I think it's positive what we've done there. I think, my opinion is, I think we're taking it a little too far on this one. You know, we do have this, and I don't want to come up having to find somebody because they put a tent up because they wanted to have a graveside and have, you know, have their people, their family and stuff under this tent to have the graveside. That's their choice to have it that way. And yes, we do have a great opportunity for them to use something different, but at the same time, I hate to make people do that if they, if they don't want to. But that's just my
What was
thinking on it.
Michael, what was his input to you on this with,
Pretty much what I said about having to come and set a tent up and the extra cost, and then, for the families. And then at the point whenever the service is over, that people can, you know how after a funeral, people want to tend together and talk and visit and spend time together. And that way they're not standing there, like our city guys are not standing there in their way. Or, so that they can go ahead and visit and everything, and then they can go ahead and go about their business.
well,
and
in the
do-
vault company too?
In the vault company, yeah.
I knew he had
Yeah.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
I know we talk about a fine in here, but who would be fined? You gonna fine the family, or you gonna fine the funeral home?
Well, it says it shan't be erected or used, so I guess that you could fine all of them if you wrote a ticket to them. And without a fine, there's no way to enforce it. I mean, you can say, we don't allow tents, but if you go stick up a tent, what are you gonna do about it? I mean, unless there's a fine, unless there's a chance of getting a ticket, there's no way to enforce it.
I'm just concerned, I was at the meeting, but there's gonna be some religious beliefs that are gonna want to be at the gravesite. And if they're not, if it's in the middle of winter and they can't put up a tent, what are we gonna run into there?
Mhm.
Cause some of them are very adamant about being at the gravesite to bury it.
What I got told from the city guys that I spoke to about it was that we only have one, they can only come up with one certain religion that absolutely wants to have it at graveside. And they don't necessarily have tents, because they have rituals and stuff that they follow when it comes to burial of one of their family members. But I can see all of y'all's points are very valid.
Yeah, like I said, we haven't had what we've got now, we haven't had that for a while, where people can go to shelter, and like I said, it is a big asset to the community for everyone. But I just don't wanna take that, I don't wanna take that choice away from people, if they wanna have it. Some of the graves we got are a long way away from that pavilion we've got up there. I know it's as centrally located as it can be, but at the same time, I think it's just a choice that we shouldn't be making for them. And as far as any damage done, I know there has been damage done before, but our own people have done damage on lawnmowers up there. They're just doing their job. That's just gonna happen. So, I just have a hard time, especially with the fine that's gone here with that. I don't agree with that either. So,
That's the part that's getting me, is the fine. I know
Yeah,
we
didn't really-
recommend that they do
Well,
it.
the fines aren't engraved in stone. I stuck that in because the next thing that's gonna happen if we have an ordinance that says no tents, then I'm gonna get a call from the chief one day saying, hey, we've got an ordinance that says no tents, what can we do about it? And if there's not something in the ordinance to say what happens, you can't do anything to enforce it. I mean, you can't go write a ticket unless there's a sanction set forth in the ordinance.
yeah, but it says the members are strongly encouraged. It doesn't say that they have to do this. And that's another thing I have a question about too. It's the wording of it, and I'm not trying to shoot
Well, what it
holes in
says
it.
is that they're strongly encouraged to use it. I mean, you can go have a graveside without anything
Mhm.
other than a hole. And, but they're encouraged to use it.
Yep.
That was kind of the email I got, so that's kind of what I put
We,
in there.
we
Right.
provide this for you to use.
I'm
as an
glad we
option.
have the pavilion.
Oh, I do too.
And I like to see it used and everything. I'm like Randy I don't wanna see some people's rights taken away either, their beliefs or their preferences.
Yeah, this is a hard enough time at the worst, or at the best.
The reason I put it in for a second offense and subsequent offenses to be higher is if it's just $100, the funeral home may say, hey, it's only $100, we're gonna pass that along, and we're gonna go ahead and erect the tent. And so now, instead of a $350 tent rental, we're gonna charge, $450 tent rental. and we're still gonna put up a tent, so.
And
I
then you're
figured
gonna
if
have
it was
funeral
a second
homes.
offense, that, I mean, if you were gonna try to have something to enforce the ordinance, that's,
But if the funeral
One
home
way to
can
do it.
pass on that $100 every time, what's gonna keep them from not wanting to put up that tent? They're still gonna make
yeah,
their
if it
money.
was just 100, but on a second or subsequent offense, it goes up to a minimum of 200, excuse me,
What does it cost the city?
it's not less than 200 on first
What's the
offense,
expense?
but for subsequent offense,
That
it's
one.
300 to 2,000.
I agree with that part, Kip, but we're talking, you're saying second offense. A second family is a whole new offense.
A second erection by the same people.
Funeral home.
A funeral home, not the individuals.
But
it's
they're
the
passing it
funeral
off to the individual.
Yeah, but
They could.
the second one they can't pass off for $100, because the second one's
No,
gonna
but-
cost more.
What's gonna keep them from passing that off,
Nothing.
if someone really wants it?
I guess if they want a tent that bad.
I'm not trying to be critical about it, but I know all the funeral homes in our area have agreed to use the pavilion.
But I don't know that there's a perfect way to do that, other than to provide some manner of enforcement, so that if we have a rule out there, you gotta have some way to enforce it. Because sometimes people just don't obey rules just because they're rules.
Yeah, exactly. I know that. That's all I've got.
It's very gray for me. I mean, honestly, I can see it both ways. So I agree, taking it away from a family for their choice. I mean, that's difficult. I guess, and I know Michael can't be here, but, so we questioned what I was at the meeting too, but I don't remember what he said, as far as what it was costing the city or his employees when the tent was being put up. Like, what was it
I think it's causing extra time.
Because they have to, if we're gonna allow graveside without the tent, that is kinda irrelevant, right? Their time, like, if the family's still standing there, whether there's a tent or not, then the employees are still required to wait until they leave.
It's all during
So I don't
their
see
work
that
hours.
so that doesn't solve that issue in my mind. So
No.
I'm just kinda trying to think through all of, the pros and cons to make the best decision.
And we don't do anything on Sundays now. We have stopped that. And, the funerals the services will take place from our working hours, so that shouldn't be an extra expense either, the way I see it. I agree with your point there.
And I feel like you said, so I know locally, most of our funeral homes, most of the families in our area are thrilled to have it, and that's they're using it. And I think there was some question on, obviously, if they want to use the tent, then
Maybe we,
they were being told that they couldn't.
not that I'm talking myself out of my own idea here, but maybe we, if we send out a letter to all the surrounding, funeral homes and, the ones that are most often here, and to say, if we don't pass this, that it's strongly suggested to use that, and we really would like them to use that. Not that they can't use it, but, maybe that's the answer.
Don't forbid.
Because that other funeral home may not have known that we preferred the pavilion.
I have a quick
Because
question.
lots of rural cemeteries have a pavilion. I don't know how many people use them though.
Something that we haven't thought about here. A lot of people today pre-plan their funerals, and a lot of that tent stuff is prepaid already.
Yeah.
So what do we do in a case like that? What does a funeral home do in a case like that?
I don't know.
No, that's the funeral home.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to agree with Randy, but I think he's right. We're taking away somebody's rights that, we're just reaching out further than we need to reach out
That's what I think.
unnecessarily.
The funeral home is gonna continue to encourage them to use the pavilion.
Yeah. And
I
I
feel like
think,
most people will.
I think if we send out a letter, that if they had that in the back of their mind when they're planning those, that might make it.
I'm just afraid we're coming across with the wrong, I think the idea is great, but I think their presentation, I think some people's gonna take it
Yeah.
that we're trying to force them to do something
Sure.
and take a choice away. Maybe not
Yeah.
force them, but take a
And this
choice
is the
away.
only one this is the first time it's happened since we've
Right.
got the pavilion. It was an out-of-town funeral home that caused this. But maybe if we just send out a letter to the surrounding ones that have been here.
Well, we can vote on this or table it, what you all think?
if I say table it, that's how it works? Just table it, since
You
I'm the
can
one that brought
make
it?
a motion to table.
Table.
Okay, I'll make a motion to table it.
I'll second it.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Next is the street and water that met on the 19th.
Okay, as the mayor said, Roy is out of town at the ball game tonight, and that's, to me, that's really important. You need to go watch your kids and grandkids or whatever play sports. Yes, our city business is important, but as we all know, family comes first. So I'm glad that he's gone, and I'm glad the mayor encouraged him to go, so. We did talk about a lot of things at our last meeting, our Water and Street meeting, and a lot of it is concerns the improvements that we're looking at, and I think we've been over that a lot. We're waiting right now. The water audit should be done. I think they've got all the information that they need. They're working on the report. We're gonna get all that information to our bonding company to start getting some estimates on costs and what's gonna cost us, and what, kind of preliminary work and what it's gonna take to get it going. That being said, we're not gonna cover a lot of that. That's basically what we did cover in the water part of that meeting. We did have a problem at the city lake a few weeks ago with one of the big pumps went down. It's up and running now, and they changed out the electric components in the panel. They replaced them to start with, and it didn't work, so they had to go in and had to completely update the system with they call it a soft start system. So everything's working right now. They're moving slowly, getting ready to try to bring it back to the original position. They've got the water coming from the deeper part of the lake right now, and they're trying to open the shallow ports, and doing it slowly, because if you try to move it too quick with the temperature swings, it tears up our chemicals, and it's really hard for them. And they've done a great job keeping that lined out with the problems we've had. So hopefully within the next week or so, they'll probably have that all back in the normal operating condition. He says here he got a quote back on the clarifier for the sewer plant. Replace the skimmer and the rake arm that broke off is gonna be $95,000. The man said that he would get better details on the rest of it, but they need to drain that down where they can see what they're looking at and get a better quote, and what else is gonna need to be replaced, and it sounds like there probably could be some more on that. They had to replace a pump at the sewer plant for the lift station that had gone out a few weeks ago. It's back up and running now. That's good. He heard back from the line relocation we have on east of Ozark at the Hicks Creek Bridge, right east of Ozark. And the engineer said it would probably be ready to bid out around the end of this year. So everything's moving on schedule for that to be completed, probably mid-2026. They were talking about the Hawkins and Weir, asking about our filters at the water plant. They've got some that are gonna need to be replaced and repaired, and they are working on getting those done. And then as far as the Butterball and Hellberg vaults, the engineers had everything submitted to the health department, and they were waiting their approval before we can get started to get that taken care of. So right now, that's about all that I know it's a lot, and there's gonna be a lot more coming in the future, because we've got a lot of things to get done, and we'll keep everyone up to what we're doing, and hopefully it would be as seamless as possible. So that's all we had with the water. The street, we discussed some possible street paving projects. We're going to hold off on some of those for a while until we get some more information. Michael is not here tonight too, but I'm sure whenever we get a plan in place, we'll be back and let everybody know what the plans are. We do have money in our budget to get some paving done, and we need to get it done. So that's all I've got.
And I am going to just make this statement right now, contrary to what the media is saying regarding the prison. Roy or I, neither one, have been officially contacted by anyone from the Department of Correction. I will tell you that I've had 3 different reporters want to do an interview, but I will not do an interview until I talk to someone from the Department of Correction. Unfortunately, the week before Gary got so sick, he and I spent about 45 minutes on the phone one morning, and they're telling that Ozark can provide that water. And so I got a message to the governor this weekend that no one has officially reached out to us. I will tell you that someone from the Department of Correction talked to Mr. Jack Wells not once but twice, and we have yet to hear from them. So just want to get that one cleared up. So Fire and Police Committee, please.
That's mine. It's pretty short and sweet meeting. Fire didn't have anything on their agenda. Police, all the chief had was the flock cameras are getting close. Are they still just getting close, or are they done?
So they're scheduled this week for sighting.
Okay,
Traffic work stuff, so
so you're getting pretty close now.
it should be good. They said there's 4 stages to it, this is the 3rd one.
Like anything with government, is slow.
You have no idea.
And the only other thing that was really discussed was the chief mentioned they probably want 2 patrol cars for next year's budget. But we kind of expected that, so. That's really all we had.
Okay, we have no old business. I do need to add to the agenda the Model Cafe. So I need a motion to add that to the agenda, please.
I'll
So,
make
go ahead.
Sorry, I'll make a motion to add that.
I'll second it.
Meyer,
Yes.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Maker,
Yes.
Tyler.
Yes.
Back about 2.5, 3 months ago, Ms. Hughes reached out to me. We had a conversation. She had called asking to donate the Model Cafe to the city. And my question to her was, what stipulations is the family asking? And she said, I'll get back with you. Well, things got busy. I did not write it down on my calendar. And last Tuesday, I was thinking, I've not heard from her. So I reached out to her, called her, and she said, I emailed you. And I said, no, I didn't get an email. Well, she had sent it to a wrong email. Sent it to Kevin. Kevin and I have discussed this a couple of different times. So sent that to you all today, and you can see what their requests are. Number 1 was the 4 children to get the $20,000, which was negotiable deduction, and the other thing was to have a plaque put on the building saying to the effect donated to Ozark in honor of Bill and Betty Church and family. So, open for discussion. I did tell her that we were meeting tonight and that I would bring this to your attention. Several things. The building is obviously, in bad shape. But if someone could get that building for a reasonable price, I think they could go in and remodel it. But when someone was asking $85,000, $95,000 for it, they can't do that and not go in and do what needs to be done. So we could do one of 2 things if you chose to accept their donation. We could do like we did with the home in front of Schaefer's, which was take sealed bids. Or we could do like we did the other 2 properties and do the auction. Personally, the auction gets more visibility out there. It's all on them. It's 30-day sale, 30-day closing. We could come back in and, the new buyer, these would be the stipulations that you would have to bring it up to code within a certain amount of time. So, and that would give an opportunity for a new business, hopefully downtown. So the floor is open for discussion, please.
Okay, the $20,000, how does, is that 20,000 total that they're wanting?
Yes. Mhm.
Five for each
Five
one
for
of them?
each. Mhm.
Well, what they're asking for is a receipt from the city.
Yes, that's what
Based on the
yes, exactly.
values for
Right.
their purposes of their charitable donation.
And that's not a problem to do that, right?
No, we've done that
Okay.
before. Mhm.
I think it's a great idea.
I don't see a downside to it
And,
if
you know,
they,
the county did an auction on the old EMS building, and I think that went well. The same kind of deal.
I think the auction would be the best way if we go that route.
I think so.
I do too, simply because we're kind of limited on getting the word out there. There could be somebody somewhere not close to us that doesn't listen to the radio or
There was
get the paper.
a ton of people at the Rivertown auction, and it was done in like 3 minutes.
Mhm.
So can you, this is probably, but can you sell a property with the stipulation that they maintain a plaque?
Yes, well,
Yes.
we would have to purchase the plaque and
Right.
put it up there.
But they would have to keep
and
it on
have
the
to
building
maintain-
according to,
Yes, yes.
It's like until the building, as long as the building's
It's as long
standing, you
as
can
it's
put that on
standing.
Yes,
there.
as long as
Yeah.
it's standing. Yes. So do I have a motion to accept their donation and let me start from tomorrow?
yeah, I'll make a motion to accept the,
I'll second it.
it's not gonna cost us anything if we accept it and give it away.
I would
But I
like,
mean, the auction makes it a competitive
and
giveaway.
Kevin made the suggestion that then, like we did in the previous auctions, and the money go back into that cleanup account, that I will have a report
Yeah.
for you next month on what all we have used that for. So, and two, when it came to that point, I think we would need the stipulation to the seller that you have this amount of time to get the electricity up to code and it can't just sit there, unfortunately, like some of our other buildings have.
I think it gives us the upper hand, and it's
Yes.
great, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
The cleanup account, is that what you're talking about, like when he
Yes.
does the houses and stuff, is that what you're talking about?
yes.
We use that for notices, filing fees, and other things.
I've used it to, out on 219 where that parking lot is. Our guys can't go out there and do that, but the grass, I'm not kidding you, about that tall. So I hired someone to go out there, brush hog that, and we pay, that's just things that we use that for.
That's great.
Okay, so we do have a motion and a second on the floor, I'm sorry.
Tyler,
Yes.
Maker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Minor,
yes.
Meyer.
Yes.
Okay, so we've already dealt with the ordinance 2025-11, so we have no public input, so we will move on to announcements. Step back, please. There's that. Your top page is, September is Firefighter Appreciation Month. We are very fortunate here to have a fantastic crew. Very grateful for what they do. Not all communities are that blessed. On August 16th, the Fun Day was a great success. Lots of families came out, received school supplies, backpacks, free food, and the Touch a Truck was a tremendous success. Everyone that came out, a lot of fun. If you've noticed on Facebook, one kid came up to me, and it was hot that day. I will tell you that we cut the time about an hour. We did post it, and we did a live video because it was extremely hot. Some of you will get a kick out of this. A young little boy came up and he said, "Will you go somewhere with me?" How are you gonna tell a kid no? So I said, "Okay, I'll go with you." He took me directly under the spout, and I was drenched. And he laughed, had the biggest time, so, okay, so it was fun.
We got cooled off.
Yeah, I got cooled off, and that was good, an excuse, but, we have already discussed this. The reminder for the residents and businesses to get your houses and businesses numbered. Fall cleanup is October the 6th through the 12th. Again, there will be an electronic bin at the transfer station for the City of Ozark residents with a copy of your Ozark water bill. Do you have tickets with you tonight, Mr. Bramlett? If you've not purchased tickets from Devon, get your checkbook out or cash. To Friday, they will be doing their drawing for, 4 different, they've got some really neat prizes and they bundled them up. So, that, all that money goes to Shop with a Cop, so, don't leave out the door without helping support that, if you would, please. Bargains Galore on 64 was a huge success this year. In the past, the American Legion had used the facility that was a fundraiser for them. Last year, the lady asked that, she just could not physically do it anymore. And so, we had discussed this last year. There was a individual, her husband, Christy and Billy Jordan, they took it over and they used the money for the spaces to split between Toys for Tots and the Shop with a Cop. She raised $1,685. So we did that presentation a couple of weeks ago. Halloween, if you've looked on your calendar, is on a Friday night, and it's an away game. Nick and I have sat down, we tried to figure out what he could do. Unfortunately, the majority of his volunteers that would work and be at the station to give away free hot dogs, their kids are either on the football team, they're in band, or they're cheerleading. And he just feels like that cannot, he just can't do it. So I wanted to get that out there in case a church or an organization wanted to do that. You have that opportunity to help some families or do hot dogs downtown if that's what they want. If you've not been back around the Kimbrough building, I would highly suggest you go down there. It looks fantastic. The street department guys got the old door out today that says H.O. Clark, and for those of you that have been here for years, it was Mr. Homer Clark's dentist office, and that is going to be put in the Norman Powell Museum. So keep that in there. The demolition has started out here at West Side at the softball fields. The concession stand, it's gonna be coming down, so they're really working on that. And the bathrooms over by the splash pad, it's unreal, the people that have called and thanked us for them, for the bathrooms. So we're very grateful. We've got a lot going on out there. So those are the announcements.
You left off the new bathrooms at the.
Well, they're not ready yet.
Oh, well,
They're just working on that. That's a work in progress. Hopefully in September, keep fingers crossed, that will be an announcement to show that we have them. But they are working on, at the Anderson building, because there's no bathrooms downtown, when they have events at the Bank OZK stage, part of our Anderson building will have bathrooms, 2 bathrooms. Doing family style for both.
And they're
And
huge.
they will be open when there's an event at the Bank OZK stage. They're not gonna be kept open
More like the Square Gathering.
and Square Game, just events down there. So, okay.
I do have one question real quick, and it was along with the Kimbrough building. What's the word on the bookstore? Can we?
Right after we had passed a resolution that evening
Yes.
to begin proceedings on it, we had written I had written a letter to the owner. She had gotten divorced. It was forwarded to her from her ex-husband's house, I guess, in Barling. And I think she's somewhere in Colorado now. Nonetheless, she has sold that building to someone in Texas. I have not checked on it to see if that has closed yet, but as soon as it closes, I've got the guy's number, and I'm gonna send him a letter to tell him he has 30 days to get it together and get it back to code, or at least have a significant soon plan to do so.
Okay.
So since that was going on, I decided to hold off on the lawsuit for now. I mean, there's no sense in spending time and money on a lawsuit if it's gonna be done anyway.
Yeah.
I had heard that it's sold, but I didn't know.
I just don't know if it's closed.
Right. So-
I'll check on that
Okay.
though, and report to you next
All right,
time.
all right, thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Don't forget Devin, get those tickets. I need a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
Tyler,
Yes.
Baker,
Yes.
Melton,
Yes.
Meyer,
Yeah.
Minor,
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Who did you have like this check to? Ozark PD or Shopper Shop?
Devin, do you
Was
want
it